Hello everybody. So in today's video, it's not going to be as jovial or as caricatured as in previous videos. I think some of you might have heard last week's the Supreme Court decision that rules that biological women should be, well, the definition of an adult female is that of a biological woman. That is the definition that they give. This has had an impact on the trans community, but I have felt, not just listening to what the news media outlets are saying, but also about what people are saying outside. You know, in the gyms, in the supermarkets, friends and family, there seems to be a lot of anger. There seems to be betrayal, you know. People are fuming. People are angry. And with justification. So, yes, people are protesting because they disagree with the judgment. I mean, I am myself a trans woman, and in today's news, this guy has said that I'm not a trans woman. Well, a trans woman is not a woman. Hang on a minute, then what am I? What am I? You know? Hang on. What am I? Seriously, what am I?
Are you classified as human?
Negative. I am a meat popsicle.
I think it could be that, for all I can say, I could be a meat popsicle, you know? Because this is just a one-sided story. The way that the Supreme Court has taken all of this is extremely one-sided. 4 women in Scotland have taken the government to court because they disagree they needed more clarification about what the definition of a woman is. But here's the rub. There is no mention whatsoever about trans men, about queer people. You know, there's nothing. It's all about trans women. And this is the thing. There is absolutely no representation whatsoever within that court case about people who are actually living as trans women. There has been no representation whatsoever. And lawyers have said that it is unfair. It is unjust. And I agree. How can a judge from the Supreme Court reach a decision like this? I've never heard of anything like this. I mean, it just seems something carved out from the Middle Ages. And obviously, yes, people are going to, go and people are going to be angry for this. I am myself, like I said, I am angry, I am upset, but what can I do? What can we do as a community? Well, there have been protests, people are organizing, we are voicing our anger against the judgment, we are voicing ourselves against the minister, this guy, because today he said that trans women are not women. Yet legally in my passport it says that I'm an F. Yeah? So, darlings, it leaves us, it's not just trans women, it's also trans men, it's also queer people. What about, the use of single sex space? There is a risk to that, yeah? Because it means that people like me, I would have to go into a men's toilet. It's like, hello? Hello? Do you see what I mean? So it doesn't make it very safe, does it? For people like myself to actually go into into the male toilet and find a bloke, say, hey, you shouldn't be here, you know. I've never ever had any problems going into female toilets. I've been using them. I haven't had any. I've been using them in the gym. I've been using them in the shopping malls. I've been using them, like public toilets as well. So what's the big deal? What's the how? Why are they making? You got to be a sick person to actually do the things that only a very minor people would actually do. Like peek and go there for something else. Look, let me put it this way: those people are fucked up. But if I go to the toilet, I just go there to have a piss or a poo. But hey, I just go to the toilet to either wash my hands or do what I just said. But if people say, yeah, let's meet in the toilet just for fun. No, it shouldn't be like that. People think that, we go to the toilets for that. That is totally untrue. I take, for example, T blockers, and that makes me go to the toilet quite a lot because I have to urinate quite a lot. So, yeah, I see myself, it's like I'm going to have to, I'm not going to, restrict my drinking. I drink loads. But, yeah, does it bother me? Yes, it does. Because it's going to make me feel anxious. It's going to make me feel uneasy about, all of this decision. But before you say, hang on a minute. Is the whole world against trans people? Well, I'm going to share you a little bit of good news. The good news is that there is support for us. And I'll tell you a story. I was the other week in my local gym, and I was filling my water bottle, and a personal trainer approached me, and she said that she was absolutely disgusted by the way that the country is being run and the way that the government is behaving against trans people. I said, well, yeah, I feel disgusted as well. I don't think that this is progressive at all. And this person said, well, it's because I have a trans brother. So, it brings to the question, that there are people who are not trans who are affected by this decision. It's not just impacting trans people, it's also impacting the friends and family of those who have some connection to a trans person. So the good news is that there is support towards us. Yes, there is a minority, like a minority group, that they've had a lot of strength, they've had a lot of resources, but it's because of this person. Yeah, this person has funded for Women Scotland for that case around £70,000. Yes, you heard me right, 70,000 quid. I really can't fathom, why has this person funded this crusade? Why is it that this person has it's kind of like a fetishization of, you know, against trans people. It's what have we done against these people? What, you know, I just want to live my life, you know, as myself. I don't want to, you know, criticize any people. But now she brought me into the fight, and she will also bring others into the fight. It is, as the lawyers say, that there has to be a fair trial. Audi alteram partem, which means in Latin, it's a phrase, hear the other side. Now, have we actually heard the other side of the case? The answer is no. It was clearly one-sided. So this is why I'm calling this BS as what it is. And regardless of what a judge says, I disagree with it. Because it was not a fair trial. It wasn't fair. And this is something that lawyers have been saying. This has not been fair. A fair trial, a fair court case. So, this is why I said that. This is why I'm angry. If there was fairness, fine, fair play. But the fact is that it wasn't. It's made me angry, and it's made many others angry as well. It has made other people depressive. My friends, they have actually withdrawn. They have written to me over the last week saying that they feel defeated. I tell you this, don't feel defeated. Be yourselves. Don't let other people tell you otherwise. Because I'm not going to stop being myself just because someone says that I am not, you know, a woman. So they can hold that decision. But I know deep inside that I know who I am. And I suspect, this is another suspicion that I've got, this guy has actually done this to align himself with this guy. Why? Trade deals. Think about it. These two, right? We need a trade deal with them, but I say, hey, instead of dealing with this guy, deal with them, with the EU instead. That would have been the obvious case, right? But no, this guy wants to deal with this guy. It doesn't make any sense, right? And this is why I think the UK is aligning itself very dangerously with this guy. This is a very dangerous premise because it seems that if we do go down that route, it's going to be an erosion of our human rights. Steadily, we're going to see that. We are seeing now other countries joining the criminalization of homosexuality. Trinidad and Tobago, they've just recriminalized it. Why? Perhaps because they want to trade with this guy. Do you see a pattern? So, you tell me. Drop a comment down below. And I would like to hear what your thoughts are. But yes, I think we are headed towards heteronormativity. And that, I think, is dangerous because it's only assuming that there can only be the male and female gender, when in fact there are many genders. Think about it. So, my brothers and sisters, as I will call you, we need to rally up together. We need to fight against this malevolent force. We need to rise up. We need to organize and say no to bullshit, because I will call this out by what this is. This is bullshit. Writing to your MP, writing to Keir Starmer to express your dissatisfaction. And also, I think, brothers and sisters, we need to fight this. And like my friend Three Dog said, we need to fight the good fight. Until another time, darlings, take care.